mean, we have a YouTube. Okay, can we do it?
Okay. I'll just let you know. And he will not.
Sorry, we're like switching up on you.
He will not care. And then, so we run a backup on the camera. That's your raw video. We run a backup on the board. That's your raw audio, and it's a split track. So if you guys wanted all 3 separate tracks for any reason, there are a lot bigger files. The one that comes off the camera is like 21 gigs. The stuff that comes out of here is like 5 or 6 gigs per audio file. Everything we're gonna send you through email to whatever email you put into this, and whatever emails you want, are the compressed files. So it's lossless compression, so you're not losing any of your audio quality or your video quality. When we uncompress it and send it to you, it's just 5 times smaller. And it's a lot easier to post. I'll give you guys a countdown once you're ready. Just let me know when you're ready. And then I'll stop talking at 3. You'll see me give you guys a thumbs up. And that's when you know everything's ready to go, and you can start however you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I guess, I don't know. Before we're starting, it's like, I think we have like a few questions, but mostly it's just like super chill, like kind of conversation.
Cool.
Like not really
I love that.
anything super crazy. Okay. Cool. Fire. Although we have an intro that I guess we'll do. Oh, it's my Spanish class. Okay.
Ladies ready?
Yep.
And then phones on airplane mode is usually best. The cables pick up the same signal as your text and your calls.
Do you mind? It's in my bag.
Fancy.
Thank you. Those are probably my sunglasses. It's fine. They're like.
Oops.
Thanks. There we go. On the ground. Okay.
Like crazy. I'm not used to like this much equipment. So.
We're good. It's so chill. Because are you guys gonna be the ones editing it, so you can do whatever you want?
Yeah.
Right? Cool.
No, we'll see.
She's easy.
I appreciate it.
I try to
So we
be.
just talked 25 minutes
Oh
with
my-
the owner of a restaurant at a
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, we went to this Italian restaurant down that way.
Oh really?
Sweetest people ever. Yeah, they were like on their break or something.
Yeah, he owns it. I
And it
guess.
was so sweet. Yeah, we were talking to the owner and his mentor and his wife. It was so cute. But yeah, I mean, that's why we got here right at 5:30 because we were talking to them all up until then.
Please.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Oh wow.
Yay. I love these kinds of mics. This is what Shane has.
Yeah.
He has this exact Shure mic.
It's the same microphone Elvis used. They just upgraded the internals and kept
That's
it
sick.
outside. Our boss man loves them.
I use the same mic. Mom, did you know I use the same mic as Sadie Leigh
I did know
from Rush? And so wait, somebody else. I feel like Eddie Vedder or somebody cool.
Oh,
not
very
that Getty isn't cool, but I feel like Eddie Vedder. Somebody cool uses a
Someone I can-
Telefunken. Yeah. Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's do it.
5, 4, 3.
Reporting live from Shared Podcast Studio in Red Bank, little change of location. I'm Kyla Kidorf,
And I'm Kelly Matthews.
and this is Everybody Knows from Trouble in the Suez.
to the latest indie pop music fad.
We're here to tell you anything and everything that everybody can know. So today we have Sadie.
Hi.
If you
Hi,
wanna-
guys.
A very special guest.
Yes, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. My name is Sadie Leigh. I'm so excited to be on here. Love the intro.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. So a little bit of background. We met. I think I Instagram DM'd you or emailed you or something. I was writing something for a journal, and I was like, "Hey, Queen, can I interview you?" And then she was like super chill and was like, "Oh, sure." And then I was like, yeah. "Okay, so second favor, can you be on my podcast?" But she makes music and other things, so if you want to get into that, I mean, I don't know, if you want to just introduce yourself when
Yeah.
it comes to that first.
Oh, of course. Yeah, so I make music. I've been making music since I was a kid. It's kind of been all I've ever known and all I've ever wanted to do. We were trying to describe it at the restaurant. My mom and I, we just came from an Italian restaurant right down the street. Highly recommend it, by the way, for all your listeners. Check it out.
All right.
But we were trying to describe it. I feel like it's kind of pop, kind of soul, kind of rock, a little bit of everything. But yeah, I've been making music as long as I can remember. And yeah, it's cool that it reaches people like you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. We were just, I had listened to it before because my dad was like, "Oh my gosh, we should listen to it in the car." But we were playing it today and
Yeah,
yesterday.
today in school.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we were That was fun. Sorry, I'm like, if you
That's
want to
okay.
speak, I'm just.
Yeah. What was it like? We were just wondering, like, what was it like trying to like really break into like the music industry, like really getting started besides just like doing it for your own enjoyment?
Yeah. So we were talking about this earlier too. It's a frustrating industry. Like, to be blunt, it's a very frustrating industry. But then when you do have the little victories, it's so rewarding. Like, it's so much more rewarding because you know how hard you've worked and you know the odds are usually against you, especially as a young woman. People don't like to see young women succeed. So, it's definitely, the victories are so worth it when you know you've worked hard for it. I think the biggest thing in terms of getting started, because it can be so daunting, is just having a good support system and having a good plan. And I am bad at that sometimes. And I will, want to just spontaneously do things, but something my mom is really, really good at helping me with is getting everything straightened out, getting my head on straight, getting a plan. But yeah, I think that's been the most important thing for me in terms of getting into it, is just making sure, I was stable and ready for everything that could happen or everything that might not happen, and the highs and the lows and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely pretty important.
So true. All right. We just like wrote down. We just wrote down.
Oh my gosh.
Questions. Sorry, my hair is like all messed up now. But obviously you can totally like branch off on that if you want. But let's see. Oh, I think we talked about this earlier, but I like kind of want to go back to it because I thought it was really cool, like your answer. Just like your musical inspirations.
Yeah. So growing up, my parents were, the ones that fed me all the good classic rock and that kind of stuff. So I've always loved just any powerful female rock star. Like, I love Stevie Nicks, I love Janis Joplin, throw Amy Winehouse in there. Anybody with soul and who was telling stories, like really just, I love Heart. I love that they're sisters too, because I have sisters, but yeah, I mean, I just love any powerful female rock star. Although I also just love people like Bowie, Prince, people who were just being themselves so unapologetically. Although my favorite band is Pink Floyd. I just love anything that's kind of pushing the boundaries, doing something that's different, that's not what everyone else is doing, because that's what I think as of late, that's what we've been trying to do, is just do the weird things that, we're kind of apprehensive to do because we don't know if people will like them or listen to them or if it's TikTok approved. But I like people that are pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
I was gonna also ask this just because, like, I noticed that you do, like, have, I guess, a following on TikTok, especially. Like, how does it come to you, like, when it comes to your music, rather, like, how does that, like, affect it, like, with how you produce your music, I guess, and stuff like that?
Yeah, so ideally, I don't let TikTok get to my head, because I know a lot of people, it's changed the way that they write and the way that they are just moving about the industry because they're thinking about how rapidly TikTok moves. But for me, it's been a resource, but it hasn't been everything. Because I'm always, like, I'm thinking about live shows. When I write music, especially this new stuff, which I can talk to you guys about, but we just recorded some new stuff a month or two ago, 2 months ago.
Exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, if you can't tell. But the biggest thing for me was just writing first, not thinking, oh, is this going to be a viral TikTok moment? Because, I don't know, to me, TikTok is everything now, but it might not always be.
Yeah.
But for me, live shows will always be. So I'm always thinking about the live show and not as much TikTok. But I'm also thinking about how can I use TikTok in a way that's authentic to me? Because, to be honest, it wasn't at first, and I don't know, it still might not be.
Strange
but
platform.
I've had TikTok for I think 3 years, 4 years. I was late to it because I was so, apprehensive. But I think finding a way to use TikTok that feels authentic is kind of my happy medium.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I feel like I'm like, if
That's
you want to.
okay. I think it's very interesting that you bring it up because I feel like a lot of the times now with like newer artists, it's like that's how they like can reach other people. But I feel like it's also changing the way certain people like make their music. So I think it's very interesting, like your stance on that.
Thank
I, I feel like it's like become a big thing because when I like look on TikTok, like I see people on TikTok, which is like ironic if you really think about it, but being like, oh, like all of these like TikTok artists just like producing the same stuff, and it's like it all sounds the same, and you're like you listen to it and you're like, oh, they're not really wrong. I don't know, not to hate though, you do you. But I know you mentioned like some new music if you want to go into that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, I mean, if you girls have heard the first EP, it's pretty poppy. I've compared it to a lot of 90s, especially early 2000s, sort of pop soul, like Corinne Bailey Rae, even Natasha Bedingfield. I love that everyone's listening to Unwritten again, because I grew up with that. That was like my 3rd grade anthem, so I love that everyone's hearing that again. But that was someone I got compared to, and like Joss Stone, I don't know if you guys know her. She was honestly a little bit before my generation, but just another like super soulful, powerful woman. But that was kind of the influence for the first EP, but this one's a little more rock, a little more kind of indie rock, a little experimental even.
Oh.
There are songs that even, because my dad and I actually went to the UK in April. And we recorded it. So I've been working with this producer since, I think, 2021.
Wow.
And we'd never worked in person together. We had only ever worked remotely. And I mean, as we did with the interview, things can be done very well and very effectively remotely. But especially being a musician, there's something so magical about all being in the same room. And we did that at the end of April, and oh my gosh, just
awesome.
so
That's
special.
really cool.
And I feel like we really got cool things that we wouldn't have gotten elsewhere if we were doing it remote. But yeah, I went in with like 90% of what I wanted to do, and then I left that 10% for improvisation, and we ended up doing a whole lot of that, which
awesome.
led to some longer songs, which I love. I mean, I love long songs. That's another thing about TikTok, is it kind of leads to a short attention span, and people want 2-minute songs, but I'm always pro longer songs.
Me too, honestly. Like, I feel like
Love that.
sometimes some of my favorite songs, I'm like, I don't want it to end.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
So you did the EP with this, like, totally online, or how did that work?
Yeah, so the first EP, Skin, we recorded it in person. So what we did, I recorded it at 2 different studios in Philly. Great producers. Shout out Ted and Tom. I love them. We had all our musicians in person, tracked it all. And what I did, those were just, if I played you those recordings, it would just sound like a band playing live. Because we didn't touch the audio. It was just, straight piano, straight vocal, straight bass, nothing fancy added to it. And then what we did was we sent it to Ed, my producer, and he adds all the spice and the sparkle and makes it, come alive. And he'll even chop up the drums and sample stuff. He did with Attendance Record in particular. That song sounded so different before it got into Ed's hands. Yeah, so the whole intro, that's all Ed. He made that happen. It was a really long piano solo, beautifully done piano solo by my dad, and Ed starts chopping it up. And I was like, oh my God, I'm scared. My dad's gonna be like, my piano solo. But he made this sick intro with the piano solo, and my dad ended up being in love with it. A, because it was just so creative, but B, because now, I mean, it was just a little piano solo, but now his piano is all over the track. So it really made him the star, which is cool.
Yeah, because now that you're saying this, like with the piano solo, I remember when I was actually listening to it with my dad, he particularly commented on that. He was like, that's a sick intro, bro. So I'll tell him, I'll be like, it was actually her dad.
I love that. Tell him that.
I'll let him know. You're more well-versed, I feel, on music producing than I am, I feel.
I think it's really nice that you do it with your dad, and like that your family's so involved, because that's really cute. Because my brother, he has like his band or whatever, and they've like locally like whatever gone to like producing, like met with producers or like whatever. He tries to do his own stuff. So yeah,
I love that.
Really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yes. I'm like trying. Sorry, this is like, I'm trying not to say this like. Oh, hello.
My bad.
If this is embarrassing, I'm probably gonna edit this out. But this is like, there's like so much stuff here. I'm like, hello. I mean, maybe you're more familiar because you're
you're
with
good.
equipment and stuff. But I'm like, oh, hello.
I know, it's so daunting. I mean, even like I remember my first few times going into a studio, and it's like, there are lights, there are mics. You're not used to wearing headphones. Like, you're not used to hearing things the way that you're hearing them. Like hearing people's voices so close into your ear. But then also, like, I'm very much, especially in school, if I was doing my homework and I see a squirrel, I'm like, what? Like, I find myself, one moment I'm writing my essay, and then the next I'm looking at the birds. So I've been looking at the Ninja Turtle sign and the Golden Girls skateboard, because like I'm fascinated by things.
Yeah, you guys cannot see this at all. I'm a big fan of the superhero thing that's going on there.
I feel like we're gonna need to.
Yeah, we like
put it on your Instagram. Take a picture of this for your Instagram.
Yeah, so that they can be like, what are they talking about? Golden Girls skateboard.
The behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think that's a little tough to explain. Perhaps.
Totally.
I don't know. Do you have other stuff? I'm like trying to like think on the fly right now.
So we were just wondering, what would your like dream collab be? Like,
so true.
Like what, like who, if you could work with any artist out there, like who would it be?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I was thinking of somebody the other day, and then it went out of my mind. Honestly, Stevie Wonder is a big one for me. My mom gave me a thumbs up. Guys, for everyone listening, my mom is about 5 feet in front of me. Shout out Bethany.
Put her in the
But
stands.
she got me hooked on Stevie Wonder when I was young. And first of all, just voice of an angel, but just he's so smart with his music. Like the things that he writes. I love a writer that when everything they write is just so them. Like you hear the song and you're like, I know who wrote this. I know who this is immediately. Production wise, it's just so him. But he would be a big one. A lot of these, it's so unfortunate, but a lot of these people that I would want to work with, I couldn't. Like, I would love to work with Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
I would love to work with Prince. Stevie Nicks is a big one. That's somebody, I don't consider myself the type to really get starstruck, but I think I would get starstruck with Stevie Nicks. Taylor Swift, that's like a big, big dream one. I'm like, I don't even know. Although I did see she's doing a collab with Gracie Abrams, which I'm so excited about on her album, which I never see features. I never see featuring Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's really cool.
Like, I think the only other one, that's gonna sound bad, the only one I know of, but I remember recently it was with The National.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so strange to see her as the feature. 'Cause
I know.
It's
I know.
Taylor
I feel
Swift.
like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's always Taylor
Exactly.
Swift featuring
Exactly.
someone else.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's the one Renegade or Renegades. Do you guys know that one? So good because that one's also featuring her, which is crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
That is. I feel like when you're as big as Taylor Swift is, that it's like as someone who listens to her, it's unfathomable when someone's like, oh, featuring Taylor Swift, you're like, you can speak to her.
I know. Oh my god.
She's a real person.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Taylor, if you're listening to this,
Hey girl.
yeah, hit her up. And I'm not saying that you're not a real person. I'm sure you're lovely.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of Amy Winehouse, sorry, so this might be unrelated.
No.
Aren't they doing a movie about her, like a memoir? Or
They are.
of that sort, because I know that was super controversial as an Amy
It's
Winehouse
funny.
fan.
I always I'm not a movie person. The movies I like are also really strange. Like one of my favorite movies is Midsummer.
Oh my
If you
gosh.
know that one?
I do know that
But
one.
then again, my favorite movie of all time is Shrek 2. So
Oh,
I have a very weird it's either a childlike taste in movies or just a weird taste in movies. But I did see they're doing Back to Black, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel the thing that makes me feel weird about that movie is it hasn't been that long. It's not like she was like a 70s star. Like she was around and I remember her when I was a child. So to me it's so soon to be doing it. But
Yeah.
it could be cool. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't make opinions, but
Yeah, I would take it back because I know one big point of contention I guess that people were having with the movie is that the girl that I don't know who it is that's I guess singing it is doesn't sound anything like her and people are really upset about that.
yeah.
I
I
don't
never
know.
know why they don't use the person's Bohemian Rhapsody they used Freddie's voice, I think. Did they?
Really? I don't.
I think
Or did
I could be totally wrong.
Wait, did he
but
sing it?
I
That would be really
thought.
cool.
I think that's crazy if he did that. I don't remember that movie well enough. That's crazy
That
if
was
he
a good
did.
movie.
I've never.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not. I'm
Watch
also
it.
not as big into movies as I think that I should be. But now I have to watch Midsommar. I have to watch.
I was
Bohemian Rhapsody.
just I forget who I was talking to about this. I was saying I'm so not caught up with movies. I haven't seen The Hunger Games. I never saw the one with Zendaya. What is the tennis movie with Zendaya?
Oh, Challengers.
I never
Yeah.
saw that. I feel like I need to see so much, but
She's gonna fight you. She's a Hunger
I
Games
do
stan.
love the Hunger Games.
I love The Hunger Games. And I read all the books when I was in middle school. The first 4 movies I saw pretty much opening night. I was obsessed. But this one, I never read the new book and I never saw the new movie. But I need to.
They will, because now there's a new one.
Yeah, they're coming out with something.
That's what
else
reminded
now.
me. I was
Like, oh
wait,
my
I never-
gosh.
Yeah, I never saw the old. Yeah. But I'm excited about that one.
I'm leaving here with so many movies that I need to watch now.
We'll keep a list. I'll write them down for you.
All right, thank you. I'll I gotta keep a mental note. And Challengers. Everyone was talking. Sorry, this is now gone so far. Everyone's talking about it, and I keep seeing we're talking about how bad TikTok is, and I'm I saw this on TikTok actually. I keep seeing on TikTok people making edits of it, and I'm I don't understand what this means, but okay.
No. Well, it's funny. That's the same way. I'm the same way. Where I'll say, oh my gosh, I hate TikTok. And then I tell somebody, I'm like, yeah, I was just watching this TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't mean I'm not addicted.
I know. I'll be it's really I think it's the downfall of our generation. It changed. Our attention spans are so short now, and then I'm my screen time for it is 5 hours a
no.
day. I'm like, oops.
Yeah, I'll sit here and I'll be oh, the attention spans, and then someone sends me a TikTok that's 3 minutes long. I'm I watched a minute of that. It's really bad. So if you're seeing it here and you were thinking of downloading TikTok, maybe don't, because then you'll maybe end up like me.
What I did though is, here's the thing though, sometimes I don't abide by it, but someone told me to put time limits on your apps. And that helped me a lot, especially when I was just scrolling. A lot of the time though, when you create content, it's annoying because I'll be on live and then it'll say, oh
my gosh.
you're done for today. And the thing is, you can bypass it, but it also means if you're scrolling and it comes up, you can bypass it. But I used to be really regimented about it. Now I'm pretty lenient, but it was good for a while. I feel like it got me off my phone.
Yeah, I feel like I try to do that when I'm trying to do my homework, but then
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I'm like, I don't listen.
Yeah.
Myself,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'm just gonna ignore it.
It's really bad. I did try to do that, and I used like the screen time, but then I downloaded this app called like Opal. If you're listening to this, like, it's actually a really great app. The only problem is it was $99 a year to get it, so that it will like it won't let you into the app. And I thought that I had, and oh my god, I'm in so much trouble because I thought that I had a 1 month free trial, and I didn't, and I let it run out, and then we had to pay $100.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's smart though if it fully closes you out of the app.
yeah. It's great. It's just, again, $99, which is...
I've seen people put their phone in like lock boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
See, I would be too scared to do that.
Same.
I'm like, I like.
What if there's
That
an
sounds
emergency?
so bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, like.
Because it like became a thing, because I would like ask my brother and be like, hey, can you look at my phone for me? Because I was just like too afraid to like put it in another room, because I'm like, okay, what if someone's calling me and they're like in a ditch somewhere?
Right.
Oh, what am I gonna do?
Right.
But yeah.
Do you guys have matching bracelets?
Oh
We-
my
we
gosh,
do.
this is
Oh
so
my
bad.
goodness.
You're gonna. I'm
The-
sorry. We need to share backs. This is funny. They've never been on camera before. I don't think. We went to see Boy Genius in October, last October, or well, not last October 2023.
October of 2023.
Um,
when they played at MSG.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I think
I was
told
gonna
you
say we talked about
we
this, didn't we?
We spoke about this and we were like, oh, so if you're, I don't know if we've talked about this on the show, but we have this running gag that I'm Lucy Dacus, she's Julian Baker, and then another friend is Phoebe Bridgers. So then their one song True Blue, we put
It feels good.
good
Our other friend
to be
has.
known so well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, I love that. That's not embarrassing at all. I just turned 24 last year, went to Taylor Swift, made friendship bracelets, traded them with everyone. Like, to me, I made friendship bracelets when I was 10, and I still make them now, and I think it's so fun. It's girlhood, not to be
So cute.
not to be so chronically online,
No,
but
it's-
girlhood.
Literally.
That's girlhood.
Like, speaking of like good and bad things come out of being online, like that is like, I love it when like people will like post things being like, oh, this is girlhood. I'm like, okay, I really want to like be like, oh, that's so cringe, but I'm like, oh no, that's actually really
Oh,
sweet.
cute.
that's the one
Like,
side of
that's so
TikTok.
sweet.
I love that side of TikTok.
I
I
love
love
it.
girlhood. When people comment, "This is girlhood," I love
Such a
it.
fan.
It's my
I
favorite
love it.
thing.
So actually, like, speaking of like fan bases and stuff like that, like with regards to like, I don't know, just like fan bases and stuff like that, like at making music, what's kind of like your take on that, your opinion on that, what you'd like yours to be like, stuff like that.
You know, it's something I never think about a lot because I feel like a lot of artists that I know have really defined fan bases. Where, and anytime I've talked to people in the industry, they always ask me like, "What is your demographic?" And I'm like, truly, I don't know, because I'll get a lot of, I mean, my dad and his friends, they're all musicians, and they all are into my music because I co-write with my dad. So it's all pretty, I mean, I'm not patting myself on the back, I'm patting my dad on the back when I say it's pretty complex, because he just writes really cool, interesting stuff. So I feel like it appeals to a lot of people who are like older seasoned musicians. But then I also get people who are into like Gasoline and just love a good scream in your car. Boys Don't Cry, like, you know, they just want to scream about boys in their car. So I never know. Like, to me, I'm just like, I never really think about who I'm honing in on, and maybe I should. And I know labels are like, you should pitch your stuff to someone in particular, but to me, I'm just like, if you vibe with it, I love that. You know, I never think too hard about who it's reaching and how to reach them. I don't know.
I think that's really cool because then it's like it's for everyone. Like
That's what
no
I
matter
hope.
who you are, like you can just like it reaches them.
That's what I hope. They always say you can't always reach everybody, but I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna reach every single person,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna reach a little bit from every area, and I think that's
Yeah.
cool.
I think that's awesome. I like, I mean, I've never really spoken to someone who's like this, like, I guess, I don't know, like immersed in the music industry before, so that's like, I didn't know that people like limit themselves and are like, I'm trying to hit this exact demographic, because I like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I feel like with the music industry, the more specific you are, the better. And that's why you see a lot of artists that they start off a certain way and then they kind of have different eras because, I don't know, the industry likes you to really have a plan, which is great. But sometimes to me it's a little too much because they'll have you, you know, narrow down who is your demographic, like specifically, like, you know, girls, you know, women aged 16 to 20 or something like that who are into Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo. Like, you know, there are a lot of like, you know, that demographic.
Yeah.
And like some of us are part of it. I can say I'm part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in the age range, but I'm still part of it. But I feel like, yeah, like labels and the industry kind of want you to really hone in on things, but it's helpful. But at the same time, I feel like so early on, I don't feel the need to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like looking into the camera. I realize we're like staring at you.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry if that's like creepy.
No, you're good. You've been seeing my side profile the whole
I
time.
know. I just realized that like I looked in and I was like, oh.
You're good. I forgot about the camera.
Yeah.
Hi.
Speaking of like co-writing, sorry, this I don't know how long this is gonna end up being, but like speaking of co-writing with your dad, like how does that work? I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is never the same process. So I was talking about this with a friend the other day too. I've always wanted to be one of those girls that has a system and has writing down to a science and, you know, always starts with a chord progression and then a melody and then lyrics or whatever, you know, people have their ways. But for me, it's always been, you know, it's 9:30 p.m. and I'm at work doing inventory and all of a sudden a lyric pops in my head and I have to go to the bathroom because I need to write it down before I forget it. Like, so that happens and then I'll usually go home and flesh it out a little bit more if I'm feeling passionate about it. 99% of the time I forget about it, but that 1% I remember and usually I finish it. I'll make something. I'll write a verse or I'll write a chorus and I'll kind of come up with a rough melody because usually I kind of just do them all together. Sometimes I don't though, and it's annoying when I don't because I hate having to come up with melodies when I don't have them because I don't like when things aren't smooth. But usually chords are the thing that I'm the least confident about. So they're usually the last thing I do, unfortunately, or they're the thing that I text my dad about. And I'm like, hey, I just wrote a chorus. You want to write chords for it, you know? Or what I did with this one song that we're working on now, it's called Baby Tooth. I wrote the verse entirely, chords, lyrics, melody, all by myself, and wrote the chorus, chords, lyrics, melody, all by myself. Sent it to him. I just wrote really basic chords, and I was like, I'm so bored with this. Spice it up a little bit. Add some cool stuff. And so he just changed it slightly. And then I changed my melodies kind of according to what he did. But that's one way that we work that's cool, is just feeding off of each other. And usually we're not in the same room when we do that, which is kind of funny. Only as of the past like 6 months, we've been writing side by side. But we used to write when I was in college. And it was like I would just send him a chorus that I wrote and he would write a verse or a bridge or whatever for it. It used to be really remote, which was kind of funny. But I think we're both alike in the way that we're pretty keep everything to ourselves. We keep our writing to ourselves. So that kind of worked for us. And now we're slowly trying to get more comfortable writing with each other, which is funny because I've only known him for 24 years. But we, you know, it's like, it's such a like scary thing to write with somebody.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like it's cool because I know, I don't know, like when I do hear like interviews with like musicians and stuff, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll just like sit down and write things. And like, I don't know, I feel like there's definitely like more of like a vulnerability when you're like, oh, I'll like think of something and I'll just write it down.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's really cool.
Thank you.
I'm like, I feel like we're like 27. Do you have any more questions? Because I'm like,
Well, just to kind of wrap things up, like looking forward to the future, do you have like any goals, like things you want to accomplish, like for like this year or like when you like release your new music? Like, what are you thinking?
So it's funny. I used to be super goal oriented, and then I went the opposite, and now I'm just like, I'm just trying to release music, and I hope it does well. And that's such a general term, and I don't even know what I mean by that. But in terms of releasing music, I just want to release it, and I hope it hits somewhere,
Sure it will.
somehow. But my biggest thing is just playing more shows. Like my biggest dream is to see my name on, you know, a festival set or something like that. That's my biggest thing. I want to just play shows all the time. You know, hopefully start bringing in a little more funds from my music. That's always a goal. But, you know, my biggest thing now is just to be able to release my music and have somewhere for it to land rather than just releasing it out into the abyss. And, you know, that's kind of a fear, is that it just kind of fades out into the abyss. So I want it to have like a nice place to land where people can, you know, appreciate it and love it, hopefully. And
I'm
take
sure
something,
they
you know,
will.
take something from it. Thank you.
because like, I know me personally, like as someone who loves going to concerts, like I would love like
yes.
your music. I was like I would love to hear this in a concert. This
Oh
would
my
be
gosh,
awesome.
Wait.
Um,
I love that.
So, I really hope so for you, and I'm sure that it will happen because I'm
Yay.
a big fan.
We will be there.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
we will be
you.
there.
We will be there.
And
Yay.
whoever's listening to this, hopefully you will be there too.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just
Thank
like
you.
breaking the fourth wall right now.
You.
But yeah, this has been great talking to you. I'm so looking forward to your new
Yay.
music.
Yes,
Yes.
me too. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for
so much
having me.
joining us.
Of course.
This was so fun.
That everybody knows. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for
Thank
watching.
you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Great job.